Alright guys, I got another machine I ordered off of Amazon. We're going to check out really quick. Usually have like this little pull tab on here. Pretty normal looking. HBWGD0468 wrap coils. Iron liner gun tattoo machine new. It's got a little bit of weight to it. One thing that bothers me about all this stuff on Amazon is you never know what it's actually going to be when you get it. So this machine would have been pretty good if they hadn't put this funny little relief in here. Just make it a normal machine. There's no reason to do all this weird stuff. So this has got the goofiest coils I've ever seen. So they're the proper height, but the coils themselves are super small. So the geometry of the frame isn't too bad. Let's see here. Check something out here. You want to know, basically, if you look at this one here. So these are the smaller coils. That's too bad. So this is a miniature machine again, but it does appear to be cast iron. There's my magnet. So that is good. There's not too many of these that you can buy on Amazon that are going to be cast iron. And there's some that say, there's many that say that they are. And you look at them in here, and then there's a little yoke hidden in the bottom. So this is a cast frame, I think. It's possible it could be a welded frame too, but there's a really weird paint on it. Now they've been selling this thing for a long time. Since 2013 is the oldest review I found, but these coils are really strange. You look at them here. They're real short, but they're spaced out taller. So you can kind of see from there that these are pretty small. Let's get zoomed in here. Hopefully you see that better. So in the ad they show this as being plastic. And then people reviewed it and said, no, it's metal. Well, it still might be plastic with some really good paint on it. The one in the ad showed a brass insert in a plastic wing nut. This is heavily painted gold. Where's our magnet? Where did I put that thing? It's definitely not magnetic. So there's kind of some funny rust on the machine too, which I don't have a problem with. Some people complain about it. Yeah, there's definitely rust in here, in here, and here. Now this was $14, and the other thing I found that is kind of similar are these ones here that are from another company. Let me see if I can see one. So these ones here come in a kit for $27 with power supply and everything, or they're individually about $14, and they're cast iron. They're sheet and shorter coils. The coils themselves are like physically the same size, but the bar, the core is longer on the coils. But you don't really want something this small. This is weird. These are weird. Like, I would have a really hard time making anything ever fit these. They run good because they're cast iron. Yeah, this has definitely got some funky, weird rust on it. I saw people complain about that. But they've been selling this since, I think, 2013, because that's the first review I seen on here. And that means that these are pretty old. It's got the same saddle piece on it that the other one has. So, you know, in comparison, here's another one. This has got a yoke in it. This is, you know, almost full size. So, this has also got another, like, kind of like painted brass looking nut. I mean, most of these are probably all made in the same place. You know, so let's see what we got. I'm gonna move this over here. So this is a shader. Spring's too long to do anything else. So I don't know. You know, I'm of an opinion that some of these machines are okay with the yokes and stuff, but a lot of people are really misinformed about tattoo machines, and whether you know, all they think, well, copper and brass are the best machines because of the conductivity. The machine doesn't conduct electricity at all. Only a small little spot where your clip cord goes, right here and right in here. And this spot, if your clip cord is long enough, actually will touch the back spring. Your electricity goes through the back spring into the contact screw, and that goes into the wires that go directly to your coils and capacitor. This other wire goes into your coils. So you have electricity going through here to the coils directly. It never goes into the frame here. You have this clip cord going through the frame to the back spring. It doesn't go anywhere else through the frame except for right there. And then it goes through here. So if these guys are worried about what the frame's made out of, then they better start using copper springs or something. Because this little section right here is so short that this contact is probably being made to the back of the spring. But if so, it's just going through here. And this is always going to be a poor connection compared to an RCA anyway. But it's a bunch of BS. It doesn't matter what the frame's made out of as far as that. What does matter is what kind of yoke you have down here, or if the machine is magnetic. Because when this is energized, it becomes a big horseshoe magnet. And if it has a crappy yoke, or the machine is not made out of a magnetic frame, then you basically have a really bad magnet. And it doesn't pull very well. So this one here doesn't matter. But and then the capacitors, they always need to be non-polarized. This one is in a 4750 volt. It should be fine. I've seen some people somehow manage to make them explode, and they will go off like a firecracker, but it's pretty hard to make them explode. So anyway, let's see here. I'll turn on these things here, and I think this thing is probably actually not going to come on because there is some rust down in that hole. I gotta figure out. I'm on the wrong clip cord anyway. So interesting. Okay. The thing actually might not work. All right. Seems like it's not working. So yeah, this is really not good. The way it works, but I mean, there's there's so much rust. Let me see if I can get this to zoom in. There's so much rust in this thing. It's like, yeah, you see that? And since the clip cord doesn't actually go all the way through the frame to the back spring, yeah, it didn't want to turn on. So I'm sure there's a lot of returns on this, or bad reviews, because there's rust on this machine, and you can see it in between the clamp. I mean, I think these machines are really old. I think they've sat around, and there's rust here for some reason. But yeah, when you have that kind of rust in there, that's going to be an electrical issue. So they take something like a guitar string or something and get in there and clean it, or just you know, wiggle the clip cord around in it. So we're actually going to do something really fast, and I know this thing is not set to where it needs to be, so we're just going to go ahead and do this, because I want to see something here. So, alright. And first of all, see, the machine's completely painted. So there's no way that your clip cord's going to go through here and energize this frame and do anything with the paint there. Except for the fact that the threads would conduct. But it's not really an issue if the clip cord, as you see, is sitting right here. So if your clip cord doesn't make contact all the way through there, this thing's not really going to want to run. See how I put it in the other way? And this one end of it, it doesn't really want to stick out there because it's got heat shrink in the angle of it. So I don't know, you might want to just take this thing apart and clean it up. It's not worth 14 bucks. These coils, I can tell you right now, they're probably junk. I'd love to take them apart and see if they're actually even made out of copper, because they're probably aluminum copper clad wire. So I think this is probably another one that you just kind of want to avoid. I mean, the armature bar looks okay. Let me trim this up and I'll be back. So, another thing I discovered too is that these are 28mm coils. They're not 32, and they're not like whatever these are. These are like 24. So, this is basically extremely similar to a frame that is being sold on Amazon by a company TA1, all one word. So that they're selling a machine or a frame that looks like this, and the frame itself is like $9, but it doesn't have this stupid groove in it. So, and I prefer the look of a raw frame, but I also prefer the look of a full-size frame. You know, I don't like something this small for the most part. So, even, you know, one of these is, you know, this is a zinc alloy frame. But, I mean, it is metal. It is magnetic. The one that that looks like this, that I ordered and I did a review on it, was definitely not magnetic. It had like some small amount of magnetic qualities to it, but you wouldn't be able to pick it up with a magnet like this. So this one's definitely a better frame as far as that goes, but you're getting a 28mm frame instead of a 32. So this is a small machine. It's just a little bit bigger than these ones. These are the weirdest ones, and like being 24mm, I don't like them, but the coils are really heavy on these. And I don't know if you guys can see them, but the tops of the coils are also twice as big. The tops of these coils are so small. I'm trying to see. Yeah, I guess they're about the same size as these ones. And there had a few other ones here I need to look at really fast. So here's a similar machine, and I thought for sure that I'd be getting something like this with this because of the wrappings and stuff, and this is cheaper than hell too. So these coils here on this one are actually 32. So these are 32 cheap Chinese versus these ones. And these ones here, these are both advertised as 8 wraps, and I think if you look at them, you'll see Yeah, they are. They're both 8 wraps. One of them is just shorter and rounder. So, this thing here would probably need bigger coils. So you're going to have to order some 28mm coils for it. And I don't know how good the coils are that are on Amazon. I don't know if they're any good at all. So, let's see, I need to find something to attempt to clean this thing. I usually keep some pieces of guitar string floating around. Okay. It's pretty rusty. Like I said, it's not really going to matter. You're not going to have good conductivity through there. So the important thing on this one is the clip cord needs to touch the back of it, because the frame isn't going to conduct very well here. So this could actually be an issue with this machine, because the piece the saddle rides on is a little thick. And then I don't know if you can tell here, but there's rust on that too. But these machines look like they're really old. Like they look like they've sat in a warehouse since 2013 when the first one was reviewed. The armature bar looks okay. Let's see. Alright, so with our clip cord on here, we'll just take a look and see how this is going to ride. So that's barely going to make contact like that. And if we want to see how bad it is, see right there, this one, it doesn't want to go through enough to even touch. So, and a lot of times with these clip cords, there's like one's longer than the other, and it's sort of to accommodate for certain things. But in the case of this one, you better make sure you have it on there correctly, because this machine is not going to run otherwise. So this has like the same saddle piece that they use on these ones, and I guess it must all be from the same factory. So this can be a pretty long video. There's no have them on this one. Usually there's another washer. So I guess if you're really worried about it, you could try and clean out that hole in the frame. Let's see. Make sure this is pretty straight. The only thing is, a lot of times these don't line up correctly. Of course, then when you go to tighten it down, it moves on you. Like it just did to me. These are got to be the smallest cores I've ever seen. Usually the core would be wider than the bar. Yeah, these ones are narrower. So the finish of this thing feels kind of gummy. The paint. Alright, so we'll put a needle and bar on this thing. We need rubber band and a eyelet. Starting to run out of these. But I think this is going to go in the parts drawer. Another little baby frame. I'm really surprised about the rust all over this. It's really bad. It's like, I don't know. See a lot of it in between here. I'm like, I don't know what they did. They just didn't clean them properly. Okay. So that's not going to fit. And I really don't like spreading these with anything because you can snap them. So okay, let's just take this really quick. It's probably not enough to do anything. You really don't want to try on that. Okay. This thing's still not going to fit. So that's like strike 2 with this thing. I gotta pull this needle out of here because I'm gonna end up stabbing myself if I'm not careful. So really don't like doing this. Yeah, this is junk. I mean, I shouldn't have to do this with a big, huge Craftsman screwdriver. So I don't know if I just painted it too much. But seriously, if you do this wrong, this is real cast, it'll just snap. God damn. Alright, I'll move back a little bit.